Defense Minister departs for a 3-day visit to Russia for deepening bilateral defense and strategic partnership to attend Grand Military Parade in Moscow to mark 75th anniversary of Soviet victory over Germany in the Second World War. Armed forces deployed along the LAC given full freedom to give a befitting response to any Chinese action. Corps commander level officers of Indian and Chinese armies meet at Chushul Moldo along the LAC. The Supreme Court conditionally permits holding Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra in Puri. The top court changes its 18th of June order, asks Temple Management Board and Odisha government to consider holding Rath Yatra with strict provisions without public participation. Union Home Minister Amit Shah leads Delhi's fight against COVID-19, holds review meet with Union Health Minister, Delhi LG and Chief Minister Kejriwal. Delhi reports 3,000 fresh cases, taking total cases in the national capital close to the 60,000 mark. India's recovery rate from COVID-19 improves to 55.77%, with more than 2.37 lakh people cured. Active cases reach 1.74 lakh, while total fatalities stand at 13,699. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar inaugurates the Virtual India Pavilion at the Cannes Film Market 2020, says India's film industry is its soft power, appeals to international film fraternity to shoot and invest in India. And the WHO reports the largest single-day spike of over 1.83 lakh cases, taking total global cases above 89.5 lakhs. Global death toll reaches 4.68 lakh, while the United States remains the worst affected with over 22.8 lakh cases. Death toll in Brazil crosses the 50,000 mark. Namaskar, you're with the latest here on DD News and DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh today left from Moscow on a 3-day visit to attend the Victory Day Parade on the 24th of this month to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the victory in the Second World War. The parade is organized to honor the heroism and sacrifices made by the Russian and other friendly people and their troops. A Tri-Service 75-member Indian military contingent has already reached Moscow to participate in the Victory Parade along with Russian contingent and other invited contingents. The Indian participation in the Victory Day Parade will be a mark of tribute to the great sacrifices made by Russia and other nations in the Second World War, in which Indian soldiers also participated and made the supreme sacrifice. The Victory Day Parade was originally scheduled to be held on the 9th of May, but was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, back home, Corps commanders and the meeting has been underway between India and China at Moldo in the Chinese side of the line of actual control. The meeting is being held to ease out tensions along the line of actual control. After the violent face-off at the Galwan Valley, this is the first time Corps commander level talks are being held at the Chushul Moldo border post at the LAC. Both sides had earlier held the major general level talks to reduce tensions in the area. Earlier on Sunday, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh reviewed the Ladakh border situation at a high-level meeting. The meeting was attended by CDS General Bipin Rawat and 3 service chiefs, Army Chief General M.M. Naravane, Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh and Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadauria. The armed forces deployed along the 3,500 km long line of actual control with China have been given full freedom to give a befitting response to any Chinese action. During the meeting, the Raksha Mantri told the top military officers to maintain a strict vigil on Chinese activities around the land border, the airspace and the strategic sea lanes. The armed forces were told to be fully ready to give a befitting reply to any Chinese misadventure. A tough approach is being now adopted to guard the border. An army Jawan was martyred as Pakistani troops opened fire and lobbed mortar shells in forward areas along the line of control in twin border districts of Rajouri and Poonch today. Defence spokesperson told DD News that Army Jawan Havildar Deepak Karki, guarding a forward post in Nowshera sector of Rajouri district, was critically injured after being hit by cross-border shelling. He later succumbed to his injuries. He is the fourth army personnel martyred in Pakistani firing along the line of control in Rajouri and Poonch this month. Another news: Supreme Court has conditionally permitted holding Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra in Puri. The top court changed its 18th of June order and asked the Temple Management Board and the Odisha government to consider holding the Rath Yatra with strict provisions without public participation. Earlier in the day, the centre told the top court that Rath Yatra in Puri can be allowed without public participation in view of the coronavirus pandemic and said a tradition of centuries may not be stopped. The Odisha government also supported the centre's stand in the apex court. Let me go across to my colleague Vikas Sarthi, who's been covering the proceedings in the Supreme Court. Vikas, how did this change in the 18th of June order come about? What sort of arguments were made that led to the change?
Well, Gautam, there were at least 4 petitions were filed before the Supreme Court which sought modification of 18 June order. And in fact, today Centre approached the Supreme Court, and in the morning the matter was mentioned before bench of Justice Arun Mishra. So Justice Arun Mishra didn't hear this matter because this order was passed by a 3-judge bench. Then he conveyed it to the CJI, and later on the same bench which ordered complete ban on Rath Yatra today convened again, and after hearing the arguments from the centre as well as from the state of Odisha, Supreme Court was of the opinion that it is not going to go into the details of management of this Rath Yatra. Court said that you will have to ensure that enough precaution will be taken while state government allow conducting this Rath Yatra. Centre said that Supreme Court can impose some conditions, some restrictions. Centre advised that there can be a 24-hour curfew while this Rath Yatra will be held. The court said that we are not going into all those details. The court simply has recalled the previous order, and now it has been left for the state government and the temple management board in which manner they will conduct this Rath Yatra. But certainly court has conveyed its apprehension to the previous order. Now it is for the state government and the board and the temple management board to come with the details that what will be the conditions in place. Like, in fact, state government itself said that common people will be told not to participate in the Rath Yatra. Only the persons directly related to the temple management, only they will be allowed to conduct this whole Rath Yatra, and in fact they will have only those people will be allowed whose COVID-19 test has come as negative. So conditions are not yet known whether Supreme Court has imposed any condition on its own, but court has conveyed its apprehensions to the state of Odisha as well as the centre and the temple management board.
Right. And in terms of how the yatra is to be conducted and where all, I believe, is there also the court, does it also believe that only the yatra in Puri will be allowed and not in other places in the state?
Exactly, Gautam, exactly. The court has made it very clear that only this kind of modification or relaxation is only limited to the Rath Yatra at Puri. In other part of the state, no Rath Yatra will be allowed. So this is the only exception where Supreme Court has allowed Rath Yatra. In other, like earlier in some other cities also, there were Rath Yatras, but today Supreme Court had made it very clear that apart from Puri, at no other place this kind of yatra will be allowed.
Right, right, and that means a green signal for the yatra, which I believe will be from tomorrow.
Right, Gautam. It is supposed to be start tomorrow. In fact, what we have learned from some journalists from Odisha that Chief Minister has decided to convene a meeting at 5 p.m. today to go through the Supreme Court order and then come up with the plan that how this whole Rath Yatra will be conducted.
Right, right. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment. We'll try and get updates from Odisha as well on this matter, because it will be critical, you know, how this yatra is planned to ensure that the issues related to social distancing and other concerns are catered to, you know, considering that it's an ages-old tradition and people in large, huge numbers usually participate in it, which cannot be the case now. Now, INB Minister Prakash Javadekar on Monday virtually inaugurated the India Pavilion at the Cannes Film Market 2020. Addressing the gathering virtually, the INB Minister said that India's film industry is India's soft power.
Our soft power, India's soft power is films. So many languages, so many films. So this pavilion will showcase films and numerous webinars. And as I was talking about Film Facilitation Office, it will not be yet another window, but in real meaning it will be a single window where all state government permissions, all central government, ASI, Animal Welfare Board and other related permissions will come in one go, because that is most necessary, and it will save the time and unnecessary cost.
The INB Minister also appealed to the international film fraternity to shoot and invest in India.
I appeal to the film fraternity, international film fraternity, is come, invest, shoot in India and sell in the global market as global brand. Indian content is a rich content. And in this rich content, 150 countries are using this content. Ask any OTT platforms. Their most popular programs are based on Indian content. So that's the reality and the speciality of India, which we want to harness further.
Addressing the session, CBFC chairperson Prasoon Joshi said, expression of art is not going to stop and cinema is hardwired into human beings.
Art, cinema, poetry, music, no matter what, it finds its own way. हम तो दरिया है, हमें अपना हुनर मालूम है, जिस तरफ भी चल पड़ेंगे रास्ता हो जाएगा. So the fact that there will be a new way of looking at things, but one should not also forget that we are going through very, very tough times, and in particular when it comes to cinema, I think you will see that people have started seeing cinema in a different way, as they've started seeing their life in a different way. Over the years and over generations, cinema has also got hardwired into an essential need.
Gracing the inaugural session, noted film personality Kangana Ranaut said art is essential for civilized culture.
I do feel that it's very important that we have these virtual global community meetings and platforms for people who are feeling a bit disoriented in these times, and to know that maybe the way we consume art, that may change, but the fact that art is also an essential commodity, and especially for a civilized culture, it's very reassuring, and thanks to Government of India and FICCI that they've organized this, and for giving our films a chance in the global market.
INB Secretary Amit Khare said that next year will be Satyajit Ray's birth centenary year, and it will be marked with a lot of events.
Next year is going to be a very special year, sir, particularly because 2nd May 2021 will be the centenary of the legendary Satyajit Ray. He was born on 2nd May 1921, and next year is the centenary, and together with FICCI, with all the filmmakers, I think we will plan a big event at Cannes so that we can showcase, we can have a retrospective of Satyajit Ray along with showcasing the Indian cinema.
Home Minister Amit Shah on Sunday chaired a high-level meeting to discuss the strategies to contain the spread of coronavirus in the national capital. The meeting was attended by Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Chief Minister of Delhi and Deputy Chief Minister as well. During the meeting, a report of Dr. V.K. Paul Committee on Containment Strategy of COVID-19 in Delhi was presented. The committee set up by the Home Minister suggested several measures related to the containment strategy, including mapping of all containment zones in Delhi again and vigorous contact tracing to positive cases for quarantining. According to the plan proposed by Dr. V.K. Paul, every district in Delhi will be linked to a major hospital, which will provide adequate help. Also, a serological survey will be conducted across Delhi from the 27th of June to the 10th of July, involving sample testing of 20,000 persons. The Home Minister has directed the Delhi government to conduct assessment in respect of every dead individual as regards how many days before death was the person brought to the hospital and from where. A special focus has also been given about whether the person was in home isolation and whether the person was brought to the hospital at the right time or not. Every death has to be reported to the Government of India. The Home Minister also said that all COVID-19 positive cases should be first referred to COVID centres, and those who have adequate facilities at home and do not suffer from other comorbidities can be allowed to stay in home isolation. The government should also be informed of the number of people kept in home isolation. The Home Minister asked the Delhi government to implement the recommendations of the committee. The coronavirus cases in Delhi neared 60,000 mark on Sunday, with 3,000 more people being tested positive within 24 hours. Meanwhile, recovery rate from COVID-19 has reached to 55.77% in the country, according to the latest update of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry. Presently, the total number of active coronavirus cases in the country is 1,74,387, while 2,37,195 people affected with the coronavirus have been cured and discharged so far. Now, the next phase of Operation Samudra Setu for repatriating Indian nationals from overseas began yesterday. The Indian Navy ship INS Airavat evacuated 198 Indian nationals from Malé and has departed last evening for Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. The ship reached Malé on the 20th of June, after which medical checkups of all passengers were conducted. All basic amenities and medical facilities are being provided to evacuees during the sea passage. This is the fifth voyage by Indian Navy ships as part of Samudra Setu mission to bring back Indian nationals from neighbouring countries. Indian Navy has already repatriated 2,188 Indian nationals from Malé to Kochi and Tuticorin in the previous phases of the operation. And the Vande Bharat mission, one of the biggest evacuation drives in the world, continues to bring back Indians from all over the globe. In the ongoing third phase of the mission, 2 special repatriation flights took off from Tokyo this morning. While one flight is bound for Chennai via Delhi, the other one will reach Thiruvananthapuram via Mumbai and Bengaluru. Earlier, under the Vande Bharat mission, Indian nationals stranded in Kyrgyzstan arrived at Indore's Devi Ahilyabai Holkar Airport this morning. The flight left from Kyrgyzstan's Bishkek Airport and arrived in Indore via New Delhi. This special flight carried many students who were studying abroad. The flight landed with 23 passengers in Delhi, while 125 passengers arrived in Indore. Those passengers will be now quarantined in their respective districts. And on this occasion, MP Shankar Lalwani was also at the airport and took stock of the arrangements and gave necessary instructions to the administration. Lalwani said that the safety and security of all citizens from coronavirus is a top priority. Now, the World Health Organization has recorded the biggest one-day increase in coronavirus cases, with the Americas responsible for most of the new infections. The WHO said more than 1,83,000 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours. The number of confirmed cases is partly a reflection of increased testing around the world. And global confirmed COVID-19 cases have now crossed 89.52 lakh, and death toll has risen to 4.68 lakh and 331. According to Johns Hopkins University, 89,52,428 cases of novel coronavirus have been reported across the world by now. Let's now get you an update on the weather. Well, another spell of early morning rains made the weather pleasant in the national capital this morning. The IMD said rains are going to continue over the next few days, with the monsoon expected to reach the city on Wednesday. Rains are a result of a trough running from North Punjab to Northwest Bay of Bengal across Haryana, South Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and North Coastal Odisha. According to the IMD, on and off pre-monsoon rains are going to continue in the national capital on Monday and Tuesday. The monsoon will reach the city by Wednesday after covering western Uttar Pradesh. The IMD has predicted normal rainfall for Delhi this monsoon season. And the IMD has also said that the conditions becoming favorable for further advancement of southwest monsoon into some more parts of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand from tomorrow. The monsoon will reach entire western Himalayan region, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi, most parts of Punjab and some parts of Rajasthan during the 24th and the 25th of June. The IMD said widespread rainfall with isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely to continue over northeast India during the next 5 days and over east and adjoining central India during the next 2 to 3 days. Widespread rainfall activity with isolated heavy to very heavy falls also very likely over western Himalayan region, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and East Rajasthan starting tomorrow onwards. A medium-intensity earthquake rocked Mizoram and surrounding northeastern states early this morning, according to the Regional Seismic Center. The earthquake of magnitude 5.3 on the Richter scale hit around 4:10 a.m. and it was tracked at a depth of 20 kilometers from the Earth's surface, where the epicenter was Champai in Mizoram. There was no report of any casualty or damage to property in any of the states so far. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Mizoram Chief Minister Zoramthanga on the situation in the wake of the earthquake there. The PM assured the Mizoram Chief Minister of all possible support from the centre. Home Minister Amit Shah also spoke to Mizoram Chief Minister to review the situation after the earthquake tremors in the state. He assured the Mizoram CM of all possible support from the central government and prayed for everyone's safety and well-being. And the Mizoram Chief Minister in a tweet said that 2 earthquakes rocked the northeastern state within a span of 12 hours. Damage assessment undertaken by MLAs concerned in district administration. Fortunately, no casualties have been reported so far. He also thanked Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah for their assurance of support. And a moderate earthquake of 5.8 magnitude also jolted Dhaka and several other parts of Bangladesh this morning. According to the Bangladesh Met Department, the 5.8 magnitude earthquake took place at 4:40 a.m. It was centered on the India-Myanmar region, 301 kilometers southeast of Dhaka. No damage to property or casualty has been reported from anywhere so far. And that's it for now, but before we go, let me just remind you that you need to be safe, and for that you need to cover your face and nose, and at the same time wash your hands frequently and keep your good hygiene, as well as social distancing needs to be kept paramount. Have a great day ahead.